and welcome to my channel. This is Kiss My A's, the content and freelancing Q&A series hosted by me, Emma Cownley, freelance copywriter and blogger. Now, I thought I'd do something quite positive this week, something really uplifting and helpful to you on your freelance journey, and also helpful to me as a form of therapy. Oh my god, the cat's literally fucking off already. Had enough, have you? Well, that's what she thinks of you. So I'm going to share with you a couple of revelations that I discovered early on in my freelance career. In fact, I'm still discovering some of them, to be perfectly honest with you. And they're the type of things that once you discover them, you're like, it's game changing. It changes the way you think about your career, the way you approach problems and creative problem solving, and the way you build your business. But they're also the type of things that even once you've learned that lesson and you know them, if the fear starts creeping in for whatever reason, you immediately forget those lessons. And even though you know them in theory, you can't acknowledge them as fact. So we're just going to revisit them and whatnot. Before I get started, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to this channel and maybe even give this video a like. It's free to do, and you could do it right now if you wanted. I'm really hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're not too far away. So if you like this video, or if you've watched a couple of these videos and you think, that Cownley, she's alright, then why not subscribe? I appreciate everyone who watches these videos, but the subscribers are my favourites. Okay, so first revelation, really straightforward, fucking obvious as hell, yet it's so easy to talk yourself out of when you're in the situation that calls for this life lesson. And that is, in freelancing, if you don't ask, you don't fucking get. And this is applicable to so many facets of freelance life. If you see a job advertised or an opportunity pop up and you really want it, but you're like,
I just don't feel good enough. I don't think my portfolio is any good. I don't have quite enough of the skills they're asking for.
why are you taking yourself out of the running for that job when that's none of your business to do that? Let the client decide whether or not you're a good fit for the job. Toss your hat in the ring anyway, mate. Go for it anyway. Does not fucking matter if you're a bit scared. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm probably not good. I'm probably not qualified. Oh, fuck it. No. If you do that, you have 100% chance of failure. If you put your name in for the job, you've got a 50-50% chance success and failure, right? So you've improved your odds massively just by going for it. So if you don't ask for the jobs, same with pitching. If there's a client you really want to work with, you'd like to cold pitch them, fucking cold pitch them. If you don't approach them, you will never get the work anyway. So just fucking do it. Ask for the job that you want, because I speak from experience, it does work. I mean, it doesn't work all the time, but some of the time it does work, and isn't that great? When I think about it, I cannot believe how many times that has panned out for me. I ended up last year writing articles and blog content for a music marketing agency owned by a Japanese rock star, because I pitched him and I said, I think you're wicked. I'd love to write for you. Here are some ideas. What do you think? He said yes. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We worked together. It was amazing. I've written about ASMR for metalheads. I've written about dinosaur rock. Hell, I've even written about Evil Dead, because I said, hey, I've got this idea. I'd like to write about it. What do you think? And they fucking said yes. The same is true for money, right? If you have a punchy rate, you want to go in there, you want to get that cheddar, you want to say, here's my rate, that's what your rate is, ask for the rate, right? There's room for a little bit of movement and haggling later on. Don't immediately drop your rate, go in with something lower out of fear. Ask for the rate that you feel you deserve, or the rate that you want for the job. Fucking throw yourself out there, do it anyway. Ask for what you want because, I mean, it happens. It pans out. I promise you it does. So give it a try next time and let me know how you got on. I'd be interested to hear. So next up, revelation. For every client that turns you down or doesn't want you or doesn't want to pay your rates or isn't interested in your experience, there is another client who thinks you're the fucking shit. They think you are it, man. This recently happened to me. Probably by the time you're watching this video, it will have been last month. I posted it on LinkedIn. It went bananas because it is a solid fact of freelance life. So in the same week, mugged off by one person, aggressively pursued and hired by somebody else. It just goes to show, never compromise yourself, never compromise your values and your brand and your integrity, because even though there are doors that are being closed because it's not quite right for some people, for other people, you are an exact fit. And as I always say on this channel, one of the main differentiators for copywriters is their personal brand, their approach, their values, their personality. That's part of what sets us apart and makes us unique within our industry. So you need to hold true to that even when it feels like you're not getting any traction. You just need to find the right circles and I promise you it will take off. Hard life lesson, especially when you're coming off of the back of several rejections. Shit's nasty. Next up, forcing yourself is never the answer. Those days where you really are struggling to get through a job and you are tethering yourself to the desk and scraping your way through that task, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Fucking stop it. Don't do that. I usually try and book my tasks several days ahead of the deadline, because you just don't know what's going to happen, right? You need that extra time. So if I find myself struggling along with a job and I'm just not in it, I'll switch to a different task that uses different skills. So I'll go off and schedule some social media posts for my own business, or I'll head off and do some bookkeeping, or toddle away and do some content planning, or something that uses totally different skills, that's quite light touch, that's quite administrative. It's a different part of my brain. And then maybe I'll go back and give that writing task a try a little bit later on. And if it's not happening, then it's not happening. You need to step away, either down tools for the day or move to a different task, because it's not happening. And most of the time when you come back fresh the next day, it's so easy and you realise that you've figured out all of the answers in your head overnight, or in the shower overnight, or while you were cooking dinner, and that shit just goes and you get so much further in half an hour than you would have if you had slaved away all day when you were struggling. And the quality of the work will not be good if you're struggling either. The job won't feel nice, it won't feel delightful. Don't do it to yourself.
Stop it. Get some help.
Learn when you're not feeling good and try to work around it. Give yourself space and time, and then it will come. Next up, worrying and projecting is not helpful. I am a massive worrier. I worry about everything. I worry about things that haven't even happened yet, and I worry about things that might happen, and I worry about things that will never happen. I worry about it all. And if there's something there, I'm like, thinking of every outcome. What will I do if this? What will I do if that? And being a freelancer in a world of uncertainty, which is what freelancing is, it's nothing but uncertainty. Being a worrier and a fretter and a stressor is just a fast track to misery, quite frankly. So what I try to do is, if that happens, we'll deal with it then. It hasn't happened yet. It might not ever happen. So why am I going to waste my energy worrying about something that might not happen? Just try your best to release it and trust that you will be able to handle it if it happens. Easier said than done. Easier fucking said than done. Next up is my little secret to preventing overwhelm, which again, I'm subject to overwhelm all the time. If I have to do more than one thing in a day, I'm like, oh my God, I can't. A friend recently advised me he was like, have you seen the film 300? What you need is a targeted attack rather than trying to spread out and kill all your enemies at once. Focus in and do a targeted attack. And I thought, yeah, why not? That works, doesn't it? So I've started looking at my schedule a day at a time. Yes, I'm worried about that task I have to do in 2 days, but that's in 2 days. We'll worry about that when we're on day 2. Today, what are we working on? Let's focus our energy on this, get involved with this, focus on this day, doing this day today, right? Let's not stress about the whole week and how busy the whole week is and that thing we've got going on Thursday, because today's Monday. Let's do Monday first, yeah? And then we'll worry about Thursday when it's Thursday. It's fucking obvious stuff, but it gets past you. The next revelation is that you absolutely don't have to keep your struggles to yourself. Asking for help is fine. Of course it's fine, but when they're your problems, you don't want to share them. You don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to have to tell someone that you need help. It's fucking awkward as shit. I hate it. It makes me feel awful. I'll give help to everyone else all day long. That's what this YouTube channel is, for example. I'll help everyone else 24/7. But if I need something, no. Unfortunately, that's not a great way to live, and it doesn't really work when you're a freelancer. And time again, I keep coming back to the revelation that when I ask my writing community for help, everything is so much better. They have the answers straight away, and if they don't, we workshop it together until we do have an answer. I feel like my decisions are grounded in, they're sensible because everyone else has said, yeah, that sounds good. I would do that. And you think, yeah, good. So a couple of my favourites for this is the community that I have through Pro Copywriters, which I'll link for you below. Also the Female Copywriters Alliance, which I'll link for you below. And then just people that I meet on Twitter. There's a very strong freelance community on Twitter that you can get involved with. Also, you can join Facebook groups, anything that works for you, where you can find your people. Just make sure that you're locking into that sense of community and making use of it, feeding into it as well as taking from it. It's so beneficial. You need them. You do need them. I'm sorry, you do. I'm talking to myself when I say that. Finally, and I think we've touched on this before on this channel, but why not touch on it again? Don't compare yourself to other people on social media. When I'm having a down time and I don't feel good about myself or my skills or my business, social media is the very worst place for me to be. I have to just not, because I end up feeling bitter and spiteful about everything I see, and it feeds into how much I don't feel good about myself. It's got nothing to do with that, has it? Somebody just wants to celebrate their achievement. They're entitled to do that. Good for them. Just because I'm having a bitch day, take yourself away from that. Don't be involved. I think that the world of social media, as anyone will tell you, is massively curated and probably very heavily censored. You don't know the real story of what you're looking at. And you can't measure yourself by someone else's standards. As my good copywriting friend and colleague Sally Fox recently said in her newsletter, although you shouldn't be comparing yourself to the achievements of others, there's a happy balance to be found in using those posts to inspire motivation in yourself. Don't sit there and be a bitter Betty about what so-and-so has done. Think, oh shit, that would be great if I could do that. How can I get there and achieve that for myself? That's an exciting thing. How can I take inspiration from that? Try and find that happy medium, or take yourself off the board altogether until you feel a bit better. That's what I like to do. Otherwise, I end up kind of being really tempted to post like bitchy things on social, like, oh, I hate life, oh, fuck everyone. I don't want to put that out into the world. I'd rather not. Don't do that. So these are my writing revelations that I keep having time and time again, and vow to myself that I will remember next time I go through a hard time, and then inevitably remember but don't want to follow through because it feels too scary. Now we're in it together and I've passed it on to you. If you have any questions about anything I have discussed here today, you can leave a comment below or find me on Twitter at EJCownley, and I will chat with you there. Don't forget to subscribe. I know who you are, and I know if you've not subscribed. And until then, I'll see you back here, same time, same place, in 2 weeks for more Kiss My A's. Take care, peace out.